Hey y'all, it's Marto. I'm gonna be playing a little bit of Total War Attila this morning. I recently kind of got back into the game. Here, let me turn the sound down just a little bit. Um, got back into the game some after quite a long time. I mean, it's not a new game. It's probably not what you're supposed to do on Twitch is stream old games, but it's just kind of what I've been playing. So it's out here. And I think we're gonna play a little bit of Ostrogothic Invasion. So, I've been reading a book called the Fall of the Roman Empire, not the Decline and Fall by Gibbons, but the Fall of the Roman Empire by Heather, I think his name is, and there's an asterisk and a subtitle, but it's just kind of talking about things that led to the collapse of the Western Empire in particular. And rather than play one of the Roman factions, the Eastern Roman Empire, which is very difficult to start, but then becomes kind of laughably easy if you can get past the cash point because they have that the interest on the treasury. Or the Western Roman Empire, which basically just makes you want to cry the whole game. I thought I would be one of the invaders. And so we're looking at the Ostrogothic hordes. I feel like I've played them at some point in the past. Not streamed them, certainly, but played them. But I honestly don't really know. Faction leader Vithericus, Arian Christianity. The Ostrogoths' wanderings through Roman lands belie their origins as a powerful empire. Originally known as the Greuthungi, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, which is a faction that was brought up in the book I've been reading. They were a faction that was not trusted by the late Emperor Valens of the Eastern Empire. They are a confederation of distinct peoples who are originally from the Baltic coast who settled close to the Black Sea. So in this area on the map was originally kind of where the Goths, they had invaded from further east. They came in and they settled and they became the new political leaders. And supplanted the Sarmatians that had been there before them. Unfortunately, this meant they were the first of the Germanic peoples to face the wave of nomadic invasions that shattered the world. Now leaving an uneasy existence on the empire's borderlands, the Ostrogoths are vulnerable to Roman abuse and barbarian attack alike, and so sell themselves as mercenaries to the very same Huns that subdued them previously. And that's one of the things that happen is the Huns, who we don't know a lot about culturally, in part because they had a tendency to either take Germanic names for themselves or the Germanic tribes that encounter them had ascribed Germanic names to them. So we don't even have a linguistic reference for them. They had no written language. But they started coming out of the steppe peoples. All we know is they were from the steppes of Central Asia. And they started pushing through and putting pressure on all the tribes in Germania and the areas we would think of now as like Poland and Eastern Europe. Anyway, sorry. Now leading an uneasy existence on the empire's borderlands, the Ostrogoths are vulnerable to Roman abuse and barbarian attack alike, and so sell themselves as mercenaries to the Huns that subdued them previously. Still, the memory of their former supremacy preserves Ostrogothic hope. A strong leader could rescue them from their plight and restore them to glory. Their trait is the Great Migration. They're one of the great migrating factions. They have 250 growth when initiating a migration or resettling. And we're not planning on migrating much. We're planning on finding a good place to settle and doing so and then staying put and forming a kingdom as the Ostrogoths did historically. Faction trait, Inheritors of Rome. No instability when occupying settlements from Roman factions, and can recruit Roman units in settlements with Roman military buildings. We're going to play on normal difficulty because I'm a giant baby and I don't like playing, I like playing games for enjoyment, not for masochistic reasons. So those of you who like going out on legendary, no thank you. That's not me. So I'm going to go ahead and start the campaign, turn the volume up, and let the cinematic play while I refresh my coffee.
The air was filled with smoke and blood. Rome was weak. The tribes grew in strength and number. Their roots went deep, and they felt the earth's blood pounding through the land. But their borders were threatened, for a great storm raged in the east. One by one, the tribes scattered as seeds in the wind. And behold, a red horse, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. The blood of their kin would be avenged. Great hunters, they tempered their blades in Roman blood, and saw their once mighty walls reduced to dust. They made ready for war. Formerly settled north of the Danube, your people are once again on the move, compelled to flee by the arrival of the Hunnic hordes. Your Gepid cousins have already been subjugated. Liberating them may help you reclaim the region, but the Huns are relentless, so it may be prudent to keep moving until you find a place to settle and rebuild your strength. The Eastern Roman Empire is rich and powerful, so migrating to the would be wise, plundering as you go to sustain your people. Settle, and you can rebuild what was lost, and more. A mighty and enlightened Ostrogothic kingdom to keep the darkness at bay.
Okay, and so things begin. Let me just do adjustment in OBS real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is if you don't have any experience with the Total War series. It's about war. It always takes place in periods where there was a great amount of armed conflict in the world, and those are the settings. Sorry, I'm a little congested today. And the other thing about it is that makes Attila a little different and less compelling initially if you're used to the series. Most of the series are about empire building, but Attila is a bit of a survival game. There's constant pressure from all sides, depending on which faction you choose. Not all for all factions, but that initially turned me off to the game. And it took me a long time to kind of get into it and understand it. Ultimately, I think I've arrived at, I think it's definitely one of the best historical titles. I'm not really big into the Warhammer titles. But I think Attila is maybe the best historical title that we've ended up with. It took me a while to admit that, though, because it was so different to the prior games. I think they took that. I think CA didn't really realize that it was the survival aspect of it that people didn't necessarily like. I think maybe a lot of the audience didn't realize that either. So anyway, hence our objective: survive until spring 400. So it's like 40 turns, I think. I think it's 4 turns per year. So I just have to survive 40 turns. I start as a great migrator. We have the Eastern Roman Empire down here. Here we have our Ostrogothic hordes. The migrators start out very weak in the beginning, the units. But the Ostrogoths do end up with a pretty strong roster late game if I make it that far, and I think I can. So Up here you can see the ruins of a settlement that's been razed to the ground. That's one element that was added to the game, razing. You can literally flatten a settlement, which would cause people to have to recolonize it. That was new to this iteration of the franchise. So behind us are the Huns putting pressure on us. It still has the tech tree, which I greatly appreciate. And we want to go ahead, even though the units cost more, we want to unlock some new units almost right off the bat. It's going to be very, very important to us because our tier 1 units are pretty garbage. So, let's see. We'll get some cheaper recruitment by 2%. It's pretty negligible. Increased ammunition and wood carver access, as well as hunters' camps. But hunters' camps are only when we're migratory, and we don't plan on being migratory very long. Then Ostrogothic military maneuvers. That's the big one. It'll replace quite a few of our units. So there's our plan. Now the Ostrogoths. Excuse me. The Ostrogoths are originally settled. Let's look it up real quick. Gothic migration and kingdoms. Let's see. Because I can't remember. I am a history buff, but it's been a while. Okay, yeah, they originally settled in Italy. Now, I could go that route. That would be a little difficult, though. Because Italy, basically, we're going to have the Huns pressing in from the east pretty continuously. The Western Roman Empire will fall pretty quick. Just holding Italy. Italy is a great point in that it's centralized and it's wealthy. It's terrible in that it can be attacked from the sea, it can be attacked from the Alps, it can be attacked from a lot of directions. And holding it against the Huns can be difficult. The Huns are basically most easily defeated in siege because they're very much a cavalry civilization. So they do poorly against spears and ranged units. Taking the Huns on the field, particularly late game, once we have Attila enter the mix, is very foolish. So we want to, let's see, we talked about possibly liberating the Gepids. So let's liberate. Declare war. Their allies, the Huns. Your allies, Visigoths. And Visigoths are going to help. We're going to circle. We want to bring both of our military stacks to bear. So we have reinforcement range. And I'm not going to fight out. You know, some people, when they're streaming, they fight out every single battle. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought liberate was going to be an option. Well, I don't want to occupy. Plunder the settlement. We'll sack it.
Thirsty for battle.
Yeah, that wasn't my original intent, but okay. Let's see, our general and our ruler. Zeal, a melee attack. Construction costs, horde construction costs, that'll be important. Money, look at that, we are almost broke. That is not good. In fact, yeah, I probably...
For the tribe!
Encampment, I should probably go ahead and encamp here. See if we have any offices that can be held. Theodus can be a companion, and so can Saphrax. Offices are important to maintaining the loyalty of your generals. Okay, I think that kind of ends our turn. Enemy killed in battle. So he was. Many factions. Political favors. Always preferable, because it makes the appointee lose political power, not yourself.
Thirsty for battle.
Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and stay here for a little bit. Shelters up to tent camp. Unlocks recruitment of Germanic pikes. That will be huge.
Thirsty for battle.
If only I had more money. Okay, what can give me cash flow? What can I afford to give me cash flow? Artisans. Do I have an artisan anything here? I do not. Artisans it is. Anything that will give me wealth. And camping will also replenish my soldiers. It'd be nice if I could recruit like a spy so I could see ahead.
You have been worthy allies,
Burgundians.
but our unquiet ancestors tell us to put aside friendship. This we will do.
We have Arian Christianity as our religion. There are differences among the religions. I need to look at that again because last time I played this game I was playing Eastern Rome. Imperium has increased. Let's see, Arian Christianity. Religious influence +1 Arian Christianity. Okay, so it just spreads. Fair enough.
Father be praised.
Okay, I don't want to take
How can I
either
help?
of them out. Oh no, I can take this one out of horde mode. Go ahead and put this.
Our savior! Laying siege to their hovels.
You know what? Just go ahead and take
Orders
care of that.
ready for orders.
Cool. Military traditions. These stay with the army, not with the general. So even if the general dies, hopefully not because he's their faction leader. Integrity. That's important in this game. Integrity can cause, low integrity can cause armies to rebel. Not a big deal late game typically, but early game it is. And guerrilla warfare. Or growth, horde growth. Domestic devotion, wealth, yes, wealth and horde growth, that's going to be huge. Definitely going to take
Ready
that.
for orders.
Construction cost, okay, again, I like it.
For the tribe.
Can I cannot encamp. Can I, nope, I don't have enough movement points for anything, not even raiding. I don't even know if you can raid a raised settlement, to be honest. Yeah, I really need to get a spy or something, or if I can afford one next turn. I don't even know if I have the building to recruit. The Roman buildings are set up in a way that's pretty logical if you've played other Total War games. Ooh, I need to turn the volume down just a wee bit. I just realized I never turned it down for the cinematic. The barbarian buildings are very different. Very, very different. Okay, hold on now.
Father be praised. How can I help?
Is that attrition? Oh, that's right. I forgot. Rivalry. You have extra food consumption and less wealth when your two hordes are in the same zone. So the wise thing to do would be to move this army, say here, Western Rome. Still need one more turn there. No agent recruiting, no agent recruiting. So I don't have any buildings that can help me out there. Okay, I can't recruit unless I could do mercenaries, but they cost too much. Okay, well, it is what it is. Not a lot I can do at the moment. I do appreciate the effort they put in many factions in this game. Okay, so now we have our tent camp, which is consuming more food, an extra 20. Integrity, it lowers integrity to hordes. I did not realize that. Wealth from subsistence is up, tax rates down. But it increases horde growth and allows the recruiting of Germanic pikes. So the question becomes, more agriculture. I think more agriculture, goat herd, to make sure I can afford, or I don't run into starvation. Same thing here. I think more agriculture in both situations. Now, can I afford any of those pikes? Gothic warbands, Germanic levies. I cannot. Even though they're absurdly cheap, I cannot afford them. That's okay. Food shortage and the Seekers of Glory. So I guess, yeah, food was definitely the right choice there. The Visigoths want me to join the war against the Byzantines for a measly 200. Okay, whatever. We're the invaders. We're not friends of Romans. Even though I am a bit of a Byzantophile. Really, calling it the Eastern and Western Empire is a bit of a misnomer. While they were governed by two different emperors, they were both considered themselves equal halves of one empire. They were not considered separate political entities, even if they kind of acted like one. Okay, we gotta get the Seekers of Glory moving. And we have our food negative modifier is gone. Time to move on. Okay, we're in Serdica. Was it Serdica or Scooby? One of these is modern Sofia, Bulgaria, and I am not up in my Balkan geography enough to really be able to tell. Can I raid? Yes. Nice, well, really, it's a Genghis Khan reference, isn't it? Succeeded. Our allies asked that we raid this region and disrupt. Well, we did so. Yeah, we should check. Loot or sack 3 different settlements. And we get 1,000. Research labor service. We'll get there eventually. Hold the entirety of Dacia. Hold Dacia. I'm not settling in Dacia. They might have managed to reclaim the Carpathian Basin in time. Guess what's not going to happen? Settling in Dacia. That's just asking for the Huns to come and raise me down to nothing. I mean, let's look at the Dacian region real quick. Yeah, okay. So, the settlement that I just raised, there's the Huns right there, by the way. Quite a bit more powerful than me, I would suspect. Check diplomatically. Oh yeah, there's the balance of power. The Huns are 4th most powerful. We are 17th. This, yeah, undefensible Dacian. Undefensible Apulum and Petrodava. Not easily defensible either. You can't even reinforce well. Yeah, it's not wealthy enough lands. Not worth it. Let's see. What would happen? Oh yeah, easy peasy. We're gonna raise that to the ground. Marcianopolis, that was the strategic organizing point city, I guess, for all of Thrace, which includes Constantinople, this whole area over here. Yes, military investment in Sirmium. Let's auto-resolve this. Oh yes, decisive victory. Now to sack it, or to raise it. Raise. You know, the only downside to raising is it does keep our backs safe temporarily, in that we won't have enemies regrouping behind us. I need extra food from characters, that'd be good. Integrity, always good in the early game. But the downside is it doesn't have anything to slow the Huns down, so they're just going to be kind of coming up right behind us. Now, normal, they won't pose too big a threat, but they're going to pose a little bit of a threat. Continuing to raid. The Visigoths, I won't raid their lands. They're my buddies, apparently. I can recruit in raiding stance, that's good to know. Let's get another spear. Medium axe infantry, medium melee, and another, yeah, I don't want to go too crazy. Oh, as soon as I recruit, I left raiding stance. You know what, that's okay. Ooh, oh, oh, bad. Very bad. Withdraw, retreat. Okay, they won't advance that far. Wow, how did they get that many? Raise that many armies all in this area in the Balkans? It's very surprising, to be honest. Raise an army. A third army, because I can totally afford a third army. Wow, that's a lot of comitatenses. I'm sorry, comitatenses spears. It's a lot of spears. Recruit units, hire mercenaries. I don't even know how to raise another army. Decisive victory, that's an easy victory. Raise it, raise it. Western Rome has no chance in this game. That's why they call it legendary difficulty. You're beset on all sides. You definitely need some more integrity. Definitely need wealth and growth. Okay, I'm going to come back up here so we can reinforce if necessary. Can't afford any mercenaries or buildings. That's okay. It's a shame I can't get any... Again, a spy, a single spy would be so helpful. Just for scouting, or really any of the agents. Let's see. So we have that rivalry. But you know what? Hey, we just got our new tech. That's going to increase. We're going to retrain these to the new units. I forgot about that. Okay. So we have a mission to research labor service, which will increase wealth from agricultural buildings. That's important. And along the way, we'll get goat pens and wicker makers. So let's go ahead and start that civil research. No, do nothing. I don't want to settle. I just want to move around. Yeah, we need to replenish a bit. So, upgraded units. Let's look at our stat differences. Our bows are becoming hunters. They still have terrible stats, but they go from 49 upkeep to 83, which sounds awful, but usually that upkeep's worth it. Let's see if it is. The melee attack, which you don't really want on bows anyway, it's going up. Melee damage is going up from like terrible to trivial. Health is increasing slightly. The big thing is they're getting access to precision shot, which honestly isn't as useful as it sounds, but you know, I'll take it, I guess. Ammunition's increasing a little bit too, so we'll go ahead and upgrade our bows. Now our brigands are undergoing a major upgrade to mounted brigands. That's going to be hugely expensive. I actually don't know if I want to upgrade all of those. I don't know that the stats are worth it, to be honest. But we'll go ahead and upgrade our bows. Mounted units are very important in Attila. It's kind of the age, but man, they're expensive when you only have 10,084 income. I'm lacking technologies for that. I'm lacking growth for that. I think we need to take a turn or two to settle and hope for the best. Not settle, sorry. Replenish. Maybe recruit if we can afford any. The Huns, a peace treaty. They want to pay me for it? Yes, gladly. The Huns are not too difficult. They're not easy, but they're not difficult to defeat in a siege where you rely on choke points, towers, and ranged units. The Huns are terribly difficult to defeat in the field where they have overwhelming cavalry and they will just wipe over you. The Council of Carthage, AD 379. Carthage, a historic gathering of churchmen, has assembled to agree the official canon of Christian scripture. Christian following. These religions are gaining followers. Arian Christianity, well, it's good for us. And Christian support. Public order bonus. Both of those are good for us. Okay, it can't afford any buildings, or rather I don't have the growth or technologies for any buildings. My income's still at 1,000 per turn. But my faction leader? No, my general. His loyalty is okay. Anything for integrity? Yes, integrity and food. I'll take both. Food management is so important for the barbarians. Okay, where are we at in terms of replenishment? Probably could take another turn. Let's do one more spear levy here. God, 200 for a single axe warband. It's probably worth it in my faction leader's army, but that's gonna cut my income by a fair amount. Okay, while that turn process, I'm gonna refresh my coffee. I'll be right back. Okay, there has been a distinct lack of annoying diplomatic messages, and it's because I'm not settled. Not a lot of factions care about the 17th most powerful faction who's still migratory. Okay, term of office is up for my two generals. Elder. There it is. Now they get benefits for these. You get personal influence, recruitment costs, etc. And you cannot put yourself into an office. This is my brother. Looks like it. I don't have an heir. I guess I should declare him my heir. Yeah. Because while I do have a son, he's only 6. Now the question becomes, how much income do I want to sink into my horde buildings? Because if I'm going to settle here fairly soon, it could actually be a very poor choice. Okay, hold on now. I can have agent recruitment available. Apparently you have to be settled. And I have spies. Thank heavens. Courier. Criminal, yes. And then let's go ahead and... Okay, so it's this one's probably because one of their buildings allows the recruitment of spies. Yes, trading grounds when we're settled. Yes, they'll probably cost upkeep. I might regret this in the short term, but I think long term this is important. It's about time to move on from this area. The last thing I want is the Huns to start sneaking up behind me. So I think we're going to settle Italy. I think we're going to do it. That's not necessarily the easiest choice. In fact, it'll probably be a little bit difficult to take and hold Italy. Okay, there. Political favors. He doesn't have influence to do that. So I could spend my own influence to get that office for him. Or I could forget it and lose control. Faction power, Dominion controls at 50. We want control to always be right around 50%. You want it balanced. I'll decree and political favors for him. Okay, spies ahoy. How is Salona? Almost undefended. A small army that is embarked. What about Siccia? Mostly undefended with the Quadians on the way. Raise an army. Can I raise an army? Raise an army. Yes, this is how to do it. You do not have enough population surplus. What about here? Nope. So I can't raise an army. Well, that was a nice thought. The reward would be unit experience for recruits. That's, I can't really afford it. Not worth it, especially if I'm fairly close to settling anyway. Okay. I'm working on labor service. Loot or sack 3 different settlements. So raising was not the option. Okay, well I think that answers our question on what we're going to do. Let's come and just continue the siege for now. And we want them... Ooh, this could be a mistake. Yeah. We'll build a couple siege buildings. The fact that I can't... Oh, they are in reinforcement range. That's good. I just can't do anything about it. Okay, we'll see what happens. We might play this battle out. Whenever I play battles out, I always lose more troops than I would otherwise. So, I don't know. We'll see. Our income is vastly lower now that I'm on the move. I'm really hoping that they decide to move the army away. Oh, maybe not. Okay, do we... I'm auto-resolving. Sorry, stream. Fair losses, but not terrible. Sack. Can I double sack it? I guess I can. Enemy killed in battle. Does that fulfill the requirements? No. Different settlements. Okay. Well, Sissia has been taken by the Quadians.
Father be praised! How can I help? Is there nothing else?
Okay. Aquila. This is where we want to start our settling. Let's see if I can get... We actually want to get there before the Quadians do. Otherwise, we're going to be at war with their faction as well. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to put a break in the video here for YouTube. So thank you for joining us. This is the end of part 1 of our Ostrogothic Invasion. And very soon, we're going to be in mainland Italy.